Alright, this video is what I think about Alex Collier UFO contactee. I saw one of his videos a couple days ago. I probably should have done one right after seeing his video, but I'm kind of motivated to do it now. Alex Collier, interesting. He is a UFO contactee. I believe him. The kind of stuff he says is disturbing, because he's kind of like, evil alien type of business, and people don't want to hear that. But I believe he is a contactee. He just seems, honest. He says, that he wishes he wasn't. Like, if he had it to do it again, he wouldn't have done it, because people just think he's weird and give him a hard time and stuff, and tell him that he's just wants attention and stuff. And I don't. It doesn't make sense how somebody would just lie like that. If it gives you and go out and talk and get speed talks and stuff and all that attention. It's interesting. Bob Lazar said the same thing. He back engineered UFOs in Area 51 for a couple days, and then went and talked about it. And he says it's not worth it. Like, don't do it, because people will just think you're weird and make fun of you and make your life hard, and you won't be able to get a job. Alex Collier said he lost bunches of jobs like that because of it, and made it. I think Bob Lazar said the same thing. You can kiss your professional career goodbye if you do that. If I was like a UFO contactee, I would definitely talk about it. But I don't have kids to support. I guess Alex Collier has 5 kids he has to support. But anyway, what he talks about is that basically, the idea about how, like, you have these scientific fiction movies every once in a while, like or somebody goes back in time to try to save the world, but of course they'd save the world in another timeline, like Back to the Future. Well, it turns out that really happened. Well, I guess Back to the Future doesn't have the idea of another timeline, because it's like his hands were disappearing and he wasn't even going to exist anymore. But I guess apparently that's really like that. So, like, these aliens come and talk to him because they came back in the future. They went back in time to try to right wrongs that they made, and so I guess they're like us in the future, or they're he says they're Andromedans, aliens from Andromeda, but I guess they're tied in with us because they influenced us, or they wanted to help us. Not the galaxy Andromeda, but the constellation Andromeda, and I don't know exactly where that is, how far that is from our sun, but he says they look, I think, like us. He hangs out with them, and he went up on their spaceship and talked to him and stuff. He said he didn't talk to him for 6 years, though, because he had enough of it, and he wanted to have real life, a normal life and stuff. But what he says is that that they came back here to try to help us, because the Earth, at least the Earth that they come from, became turned into a tyranny. It became, like that movie V for Vendetta with Natalie Portman. Kind of became like that, like a total fascist dictatorship state. And it's like we almost went there. I remember just a few years ago we had Adolf Hitler. Like, my dad was alive in World War II. He remembers all of that. It's crazy. It was not like that long ago, and that was totally totally nasty. And imagine the whole world being controlled by Nazis. We almost have it, and so maybe we have that kind of now, or we're in danger of having it. Kind of. I just did a video on the New World Order. I didn't have time to talk about the black budget, so I guess that'll be a whole nother video. But yeah, he says, like, we're dangerously moving towards something like that, and they're here to try to help us become wake up and become more free, and not let anybody control us. He says the main message of the Andromedans when they went back in time was that we need to realize that we are automatous automatous. Oh my god, it's kind of late. Thinking individuals, people who really should make decisions for ourselves and not accept the demands and the direction and the commands of a higher authority. Because I guess we're heading down that we're going to lose our rights. And there's lots of but he kind of made the mistake, I think, of getting into the specifics of what do you do then, and I'd have to talk about the whole my idea about New World Order, which is a video I just uploaded, but or just shot, but yeah, he says that our whole system, our whole society is like engineered by aliens, like our control, like what David Icke says, like our whole system, our whole society is actually engineered. Like all of the presidents we've had have been put there, have been finagled in there, and they were supposed to be. They were decided on being presidents long beforehand, and it's all part of a big play. Like they deliberately put George Bush in there, and then they get George Bush. They get everybody to hate George Bush because he invades too many countries and invades the rights of Americans. And so then they get the opposite guy in there, the black guy who's going to talk about who's not going to invade countries, and then they're going to get So it's interesting, and I'm kind of thinking that more and more, thinking like it's like that. Now, one really creepy thing, really something interesting that I've been thinking about is all this. See, like if you look at the media, I think it was maybe even him who said like, yeah, all the media is controlled by certain people, and if you look at the media, man, it's like all this media attention is about empty shit. Just like deifying, like choosing certain celebrities, and then you write over and over about that celebrity, like Britney Spears and this and that and all this bullshit that doesn't have anything to do with real life. But also like with politicians, like now it's like nowadays all this information. Sarah Palin this, Sarah Palin that, Sarah Palin's daughter had a baby, what did Sarah Palin do for Thanksgiving, and it's like, who the fuck was Sarah Palin? She's just some lady who is a governor from some like small state, and so then like the guy chooses her, appoint as being like the running mate, and all of a sudden she's like all over the news. So it's like, and the way Americans think, normal people, it's like if you know somebody, if you're familiar with them, if they've been all over the news for you, if she decides to run, everybody's going to know her, so they're gonna vote for her because they feel like they know her, even though they don't know anything about what she votes on. Because that's another weird thing that I didn't have time to include in my New World Order video. I guess this is kind of turning out to be a New World Order video, but you don't know what these people believe. If you go to their websites, and there's no track record of their voting record, there's no like whole list of all the people who've paid for their campaigns and who've donated to them. There's no just like there's no or even how much they make. There's no if you go to like the USDA, this should be another video, and you look at how much they make, how much they're spending on all this, that, and the next thing, it's not there. It's not written. You don't know. It's totally hidden. So it's like, yeah, you can totally. Anyway, that's what he says. It's just orchestrated and it's all fake. But then it's like, what aliens are controlling us? And I think maybe he said there's like evil aliens. Like he said there's actually wars going on. They're fighting out like battles like Star Wars. And when you see aliens, crashed aliens like Roswell and different spaceships that crash, they're actually casualties from the war in a higher dimension. Like this flying saucer gets shot, and it crashes, and as it crashes into our dimension, and crashes. So it's like there's this big battle going on out there. And now, I don't want to think anything negative, so I would process that and just be like, you know what? They're from a fucked up parallel reality, but our parallel reality is not that fucked up and it's not that dangerous. That you're being a little melodramatic. It's not that bad. It's just that they wanted to help us a little bit, Anyways, I'm out of time.